What's going on, y'all? I'm gonna do another obituary today. Well, let me make sure that I'm close enough to the mic. Yeah, today I'm gonna do another obituary, but this time I noticed that like 40% of my viewers are on cell phones, so I'm gonna try to make this obituary right from my phone. I have an iPhone 12. I haven't upgraded in quite some time, and I'm gonna try to make the entire obituary right from my phone. Okay, so we're gonna have the Canva app open. You're gonna log in, and then we're gonna hit the plus sign, and then it's gonna ask what we like to create, and we're gonna click custom size. Let's see, we're gonna type in 11 for the width. We need to change this to to inches. All right, so let's try that again. We're gonna type in 11 for the width, and for the height, we're gonna type in 8.5. And what this is gonna do is give us a standard print sheet of paper that we can work on. All right, now it's asking me if I want to use templates. I do not want to do that, so I'm gonna scroll down here to my apps at the bottom, and I'm gonna click pixels. And I mean, this is like a template design, so what I'm gonna do is go ahead and just grab a portrait of someone. Let's do male this time. Let's just grab something where the guy looks happy. Okay, we're gonna go with this picture. So it's already put the picture into the document. So we're just gonna move this over to the right side, because the right side is the front and the left side is the back. Now, I'm noticing I don't have any guides here, so maybe I can pull up some guides. I gotta dig through the settings and see how I might be able to do that. So let me see. These three dots at the top. What we wanna do is we wanna split this in half. Okay, I figured it out. All right, we got it. All right, so you wanna go to settings, and then you wanna go to guides, add guides. And instead of 12, we're gonna go custom. Make sure that it's on 2 columns, and that's gonna go ahead and split it in half for us. And now we got a nice line in the middle telling us as far as we can go. Next, what I wanna do is go ahead and grab an element. So I'm gonna click on elements down at the bottom, and then I'm gonna scroll down until I can find picture frames. All right. And we're gonna find a picture frame that we like. I really like the circle. Usually that does it for me, so let's go with the circle again. Now our circle's popped up right here, but our picture, we need our picture to get inside it. So all we're gonna do is tap on the picture, hold the tap, and then drag it over into the circle. Now let's bring this circle back over here to the right. There we go. All right, next, maybe shrink it down just a tiny bit. Move it back over. Okay, now we need a background color. So we can go down to pixels once again and scroll all the way to the right. Hit pixels, and for background, let's go traditional and grab some clouds. Honestly, I like the way these look. This might be a little too much maybe, but let's try it out and see. So we're gonna pick that one. Whoops. It's gonna drop in here. We're gonna go drag it over to the top corner. Let's undo that. Top right corner. So I'm gonna drag this picture into the corner over here, and then we're gonna do that, stretch it out to make sure it fits, and then we're gonna click these 3 dots here, and there should be an option to set the image as a background. I see that, so we're gonna go ahead and tap that, and then now we want to, let's add a gradient. Let's change this purple color here to like a different blue. or a lighter blue or darker blue. So we're gonna get two different blues here. Let's get a light blue to a dark blue gradient. We're gonna add that to the design and then enlarge this as well. And we want to put this into the back. How can we do that? We can go to our layers. So let's figure out what the layers are. So at the bottom, there's a spot that says, if you scroll all the way to the right, it says layers. You're gonna tap on that, and then we're gonna tap on the 3 or the 6 dots onto the left, and we're gonna drag that down into here, all right? And now we got it behind them. We also want to, let's get out of this now, and let's bring the opacity down. Okay, now we're gonna tap on our blue after we've placed it behind the main photo. We're gonna bring the transparency down a little bit. There we go. So now that when we place our text, it'll be a little bit easier to read. All right, now let's see if we can put a border around this shape here. So we're gonna scroll all the way until we can find style. And then we're gonna tap the first one, and it's gonna give us a black border, but we want that color to be different. So we're gonna tap border color right here, and we're gonna go with a dark blue. That looks cool. Now, at the top, we're gonna put remembering the life and times. But first we're gonna add a text box, and we're gonna move this text box up top. Now we're gonna edit it to say the life and times of Now, of course, you can make this top part say whatever you like. It can say remembering and loving memory of, something like that. And then let's go ahead and change the style of the text. So we're gonna go ahead and click it to the text. So when we click into the text, zoom in a little bit. Now we can change the font by scrolling over, and where it says Canvas Sans, we want to change that. And we want to go for something that looks a little fancy, so we'll just type in elegant and see what sort of results we get, and we can just sort of browse through them until we find something we like. And I believe Boston Angel looks pretty cool. So let's go with Boston Angel, and let's make this text white. So under color, we're gonna click white, and let's go ahead and just duplicate this text by tapping on it and then hitting the plus sign with the two papers. That's gonna duplicate it for us. We're gonna bring this down to here, and then now we want to put his name here. So we're gonna put, I always go with a name that's like first name. Let's get that underline off. First name and last name are the same initials for my templates. So let's make this bigger. And put it right there. And then we also want to duplicate this and go ahead and put his last name on there. Now let's make this a little more fancy. Let's pull this. Oops. There we go. We're gonna zoom in so we can see the bottom text here. The scroll is acting weird. Let's go with this time for the bottom text, let's go with something that's in cursive or script or calligraphy, whichever word you want to use to describe it. Let's try Pinion script. Okay, not bad. All right, now let me see, let's pick Alan's name, his first name, and let's try to arrange it so that it's easy to read. Okay, now we got Alan Anderson, and for the Anderson, we'll make the font like a yellow color. Let's go with blue and yellow, right? Now let's make this look a little bit more detailed and layered. So what we're gonna do is go back into elements right here at the bottom. We're gonna scroll up and go to our shapes. So let's tap that shape, zoom out some more. And now I want to spread this shape across the entire bottom portion. And I also want to duplicate that and move this to the top, so the top and bottom have that blue border. And let's move it up a tiny bit on the bottom. And I would like to put here at the bottom, we're going to duplicate Anderson. Oops. Right. But we're going to make this font a little bit smaller. And we're going to go with, we're going to put the sunrise date, which would just go right here. Sunrise is like the day they were born. And that's too big and too fancy. So let's move this down in size, and then let's also change the font to something a little easier to read. Okay. We actually can move this blue down a little more. Here, let's put the like that. So sunrise, duplicate that. And this will be the sunset date. Which is the date that he passed away. Okay. Now, I mean, obviously, if you were creating this, if it was you, you would upload your own photo into here instead of just, I picked one from Pexels, but you would have a personalized photo and you would upload that. And to upload it, I'll show you how to upload in a second. Okay, we're just trying to align this so that it's kind of balanced on both sides. All right. Next, what we want to do is put at the bottom, usually it has the location of the church. So let's duplicate this, pull it down here, and it would be church location or wherever the funeral is being held, and address or date of service. And that doesn't have to be that big. Bring it down a tad bit. And then underneath that, we'll put the name of the officiating pastor. Looking pretty good, y'all. Looking pretty good so far. Okay, okay. My camera died on me, y'all, so just bear with me. I have no idea at which point it died at, but you cannot see me anymore. I am sorry. All right, so let's go to, now let's move on to the back side. So we're gonna go ahead and add a subheading. We're gonna put acknowledgements. We'll move this down. We'll change the font size. Move it up a tad bit. All right. And let's go ahead and use one of our fonts that we've been using. Let's go ahead with Boston Angel. And the color white. Let's duplicate that underneath. Here we'll say something like the family would like to thank everyone who has supported us during this time. Doesn't have to say this exactly, but some type of like thank you basically is what will go there. And I want to make this a little bit smaller. Size 19 is a little bit big, so let's go to like maybe size 12. And let's put, just so acknowledgement stands out as a subheading, we'll put that in yellow. Right now we're going to duplicate this, drag it up to here, and we're going to put pall bearers. So we'll put there's usually 6 pallbearers. I've seen more sometimes, and we'll just put the word pallbearer as a placeholder, and we'll move this over to here. Duplicate, and then we want to duplicate one more time. Move this over to the side here. And then duplicate, and then duplicate. So we got 6 pallbearers. The name's right here. Let's move this over a tad bit so that it's more balanced. Those pink lines will tell you that that stuff is aligned a certain way. So pay attention to those pink lines that pop up when you're moving stuff around. All right, we got our pallbearers, we got our acknowledgements. And since we have some room up top, let's go ahead and add a scripture. And I'm just going to use a scripture that I've used before on obituary templates. So we'll do Matthew 11, 28, 30. And we're gonna go ahead and grab this pallbearer text again. So we'll duplicate that, pull it up to here, and we'll write the scripture. All right. So we're gonna pull this up. We want to select multiple here, so let's go ahead and do that. Now I can move this down to have more room for this. Oops. Move this down. Move this down. And let's just see how that balances out with this other side here. Looks pretty good. Over here, I decided I want this to be yellow too. All right. Okay, I can tell here that some things are a little bit off. Oops, let's undo that. So I want to make sure that Matthew and the scripture and acknowledgments and the family and the word pallbearers are all aligned. So we're going to tap on this, tap on the three dots, and go to select multiple. So we're going to grab that, and grab acknowledgments, and then we want to align all of this stuff. So get out of this. So we're gonna grab them all, and then we're gonna go to position, and then we're gonna tap align, and then we're gonna tap center. And now all of these are lined up the way they should be. Okay, looks great. Looks pretty good. All right, so now let's move on to the inside. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and go to, we're gonna click on the three dots. All right, so now we wanna make a new page. So we're gonna go to the three dots. We're gonna click view all pages. Make sure that number 1 is selected, and I'm just gonna tap duplicate. Right, so we're gonna click the X. Now that we're on page 2, we can go ahead and start to arrange things the way we need them to be on the inside. We're gonna take his name. Again, we want to grab multiple items, so we're going to hit select multiple, tap on that, and get out of this, move these over. Wow. Okay, now we want to do position, send forward, and let's move it over a little bit more, and let's size it down some to about maybe that size. And let's center it, why not? I never do it like that. So we'll get rid of this, get rid of this, get rid of this. And we're gonna duplicate that because I wanna write something up top here. And I'm just gonna reiterate that. Just write something that like sort of introduces his obituary, and let's move this just over his name like that, and we can move these down also just a tad bit. All right, so then right here would be his obituary biography, but for the sake of time, I'm just gonna do obituary goes here, and I want to copy this and just keep pasting it. Just paste it a few times. I just want to fill the space in right now just so you guys can understand, like, this is where the obituary would go. So yeah, the obituary will go here on the left, and if you want, you could even have an additional photo of him. Select multiple again. So this. Move all of these down a little bit. Okay, next you want to, well, what I want to do next is just, I want to have a picture of them. So we're going to go ahead and take the picture, drag it over to here, and we want to go to our position again. We want to move this to the front, shrink it down a little bit. And it can go right here, and then we're gonna grab this text and move it over a bit. So we select multiple again, and let's just group that so that we can all move it at once, right? I like that. Okay, so that's his obituary. And then over here would go the order of service. Let's get rid of this stuff we don't need from the other page that we copied. Okay, let's move this to the top. All right, so the order of service, obviously this is going to be like, you know, custom made to whatever, however the program is going to go for your event. So just use this as like a guide. So double tap on the white, and I think processional is always first, but during a funeral service, you know, people read scriptures, people read prayers, people have song selections, people have words of comfort. We have people come and, you know, speak to make people feel, well, to make them feel comfortable, I guess, as hard as that might be during a time like this. I got remarks, and then maybe they'll do the obituary reading after that, and perhaps another song selection. And what else we got here? The eulogy and recessional. All right, so we can put all these here, and if you want to get even more fancy here, we can go ahead and change this font right here to something a little more elegant, sort of like that one that we've already used, right? And let's make it a little bit bigger, just a little bit. Cool. Now we still have a lot of space here, so what I think I want to do is put some photos over here on the sides. So I'm gonna go back to our elements, and we're gonna go back to our frame shapes, and we're gonna go down to, this time I want to use a rounded frame, so we shrink that down a little bit more even, and we can put pictures in all of these. So we'll put one here, duplicate, bring it down a little bit, duplicate, duplicate. So we got 4 pictures on that side, and let's go ahead and grab one, go to more, select multiple, and we're going to grab all 4 of these, group them, and then duplicate and move them over here. Okay, now we still got some room here, so let's duplicate that. What just happened? Undo what I just did. All right, so grab the order of service, duplicate that, and we're gonna move that down to here, and we're gonna shrink the font so that it fits in between. And right here could go another scripture or a poem, and we can make this font a little bit bigger. Hopefully you guys are you know, getting the hang of this. This is my first time making one on a phone, but it's really just amazing that this could happen. So anybody who needs to make a design, it's definitely possible to do on your phone. So we're gonna duplicate this because we want to keep our fonts consistent, right? So we pull this down, and we're gonna go to spacing and line spacing. We want to pull this in some, and now we're gonna just put, just like we did with the obituary, I'm just gonna put poem goes here. I would copy that, paste it, however many lines a poem will be. All right, looks good, nice and clean. So the photos will go here, and I'm gonna go ahead and fill this in with some stock photos, but for you would go to camera roll, which is right next to text right here, and you would grab the pictures from your camera roll and you add them that way. But I don't have any, so I'm just gonna do with what Pixels would give to me. Pixels. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and skip through this and have all the stuff there so you don't have to watch me. It's the same deal as before. Just drag and drop them in there. All right, we got our pictures in here, but this is something I didn't mention earlier about the photos that I would like to address right now. If you click on your frame, you double click on it, it'll allow you to move the picture around so you can crop it better. So just keep that in mind. If you happen to drop a picture in here and something comes off cropped a little bit, you can move it around inside to make it fit a little bit better. So once you got it how you want it, you just hit done, and here we go. All right, there you have it, y'all. So you just, after you finished, let's make sure there's only 2 pages. We want to go back to view all pages, and I accidentally made a 3rd page, so I'll just go ahead and delete that. All right, now we're ready to send it into share mode. So we're gonna hit the share button in the top right corner, and then we're gonna do download, and then we want to download it as a PDF print. We want to make sure crop marks and bleeds are on. We want to flatten the PDF so that the file size stays optimized. We want to make sure all the pages are selected. And here under color profile, it's going to ask you if you want RGB or CMYK. If you have the premium version of Canva, you can unlock CMYK, which is a format that they use for printing. But in my experience, there's only a slight difference in color if you use CMYK for printing. So if you don't want to use Canva Premium, you can just go ahead and do RGB. The printer will still print out an RGB picture, and it'll still look great. So after you've got that, you can go ahead and hit download, and it's going to say preparing your design. And then you just go ahead and save or email it or save it or whatever you need to do. You can do save to files, and that's it. All right. So if you guys have any questions, always feel free to leave them in the comment box below, and I'll definitely try to answer them to the best of my ability. And I really appreciate you guys tuning in. Teach you something next time. Peace.